So could you tell us a bit about yourself and what you like most about being a vet?
Okay. So right after JC, I went to vet school. Didn't really take a gap year or anything. After graduation in 2016, like I mentioned, I actually started working first in the UK for a short period of time before coming back to Singapore, and then I've been working here ever since that. Okay, so what I like most about being a vet. So firstly, most people become vets because we like animals. So yeah, I quite like it. I quite like most animals I see. So it's enjoyable working with them. It's also a very dynamic job. So every day is different. There's no 2 days that are exactly the same. And it's a challenging job. So it's something that you don't get bored of. And the work itself is very enjoyable because of the variety. It's very intellectually stimulating. And I like that it's very hands-on. It's also very meaningful work. A lot of times you do feel like you're making a difference. And so it feels very rewarding. Apart from, wanting to help animals, one of the strongest motivations for vets is always the desire to solve problems. So I think the work does fulfill that. And lastly, yeah, I do like the teamwork as well. As if you work as a vet, it's not a one-man island. You need your technicians and your receptionists. So I do enjoy working with my team. Obviously, it depends on who your team is. If you do enjoy working with people, this is a good job also.
Sounds like a very collaborative environment and very dynamic as well, right?
Yes. Very fast-paced.
Could you describe also your typical day as a vet? What does it look like?
Okay, so different clinics operate in different ways. For my particular clinic, we have sort of 3 consulting shifts. So morning, afternoon, and evening. We have a longer lunch break, between the morning and afternoon slots to actually do all surgeries, that's booked in. So surgeries include like sterilizations, which is the most common ones, and basic lump removals, occasionally dentals, and some more challenging ones, sometimes like bladder surgery or amputations. We do hospitalized cases in most clinics in Singapore as well. So when we have hospitalized cases, we usually sort of deal with them in the morning or in between consults. So we do see a wide range of consults also. So it can range from anything from vaccinations to skin or ear problems or more severe issues like animals not eating for a few days. So literally you can see like a dying animal one consult, and the next consult you see like a puppy for vaccine. So it's a bit of an emotional roller coaster. And after consults, we have the responsibility to actually key in notes, which is very important for record keeping, and also that if somebody takes over the case, they need to know what's going on. And if the day is very busy, sometimes these notes can pile up, so we sometimes have to do it at the end of the day. Yep. And our other duties are client phone calls. A lot of clients, if they have hospitalized patients, if they have patients that we are doing surgery on, we do have to update them. And a lot of times we do get clients who want callbacks, either for like an ongoing case or if there's a new problem where they're not sure if they need to bring the animal in. So we do have to deal with that as well. But yeah, that's the system in place for my particular clinic. I know there are some clinics who work slightly differently. They have like vets on consults and surgery, and the vets on surgery at the same time. So either you do consults or surgery the whole day.
Could you tell us a bit about perhaps the biggest challenges you face as a vet?
Okay. Yeah, this question is there are a lot of questions, there are a lot of answers to this question, and a lot of depth to answer. So this question can actually take up a whole interview in itself.
Yeah.
But I will try and keep it brief. I'll speak as on my experience as a general practitioner, because obviously if you are a practice owner or specialist, your challenges might be slightly different and you have your own sets of challenges. Yeah. So I guess the first challenge, one of the most challenging things about the job is the stress. Okay. People do get burned out a lot. We experience a lot of compassion fatigue, where basically it means that you just stop caring. And then you have to find a way to start caring again to actually do your job properly. In the US, I think there's a statistic that says that female vets, they quote the female vet statistics are about 2 to 3 times more likely to commit suicide compared to the general population, just because of the stress of the job. There's even an organization that's dedicated to providing support for this very issue. It's called Not One More Vet. It's mainly the stress first is because the stakes are quite high. It's a bit, because in the medical field, there are lives involved and
Right.
you can't save everything. So when things go wrong, things can go very wrong. And that can also take an emotional toll. Yeah. So you do lose patience because you can't save anything, and that's when that feels bad. And it's not something that's easily explained, but you have to experience it to kind of understand. And one of the most challenging parts of the job, I would have to say, is client communication, because while most of my clients are very lovely, you tend to remember the ones that are not, and they stick out in a very bad way. So clients, dealing with clients can be challenging, mainly because for one thing, the animals cannot speak on themselves, so you're basically mostly dealing with clients, and you do need to actually communicate with them properly. What's the best way forward to actually do the best thing. And when there's any breakdown of communication, obviously things can get a bit ugly, and if things go wrong, things can get ugly as well. And because of social media nowadays, we do have to deal with negative reviews, which can get very personal. It's just one of those things about the new age lah. And addressing financial concerns is also one of the most difficult part of the job. Sometimes there are treatable conditions where cannot be treated just because that it's not financially viable for the clients. Let's say, okay, you can save your pet, but it's about $8,000 for surgery, and you generally cannot afford that. It's not the fault of your pet, not the fault of the client, not the fault of the vet. It's just a horrible situation. And so sometimes you do have to deal with maybe euthanizing an animal that could have otherwise been saved, but in the practically speaking, it's not possible at that point. And then it doesn't help if, let's say, clients try to guilt trip you and stuff like that, like, oh, why can't you treat my pet for free if you love animals, that kind of thing. Not a nice thing to say lah. Okay. But yeah, mostly I would say stress and client communication, one of the biggest two challenges of the job. So very important to have a good support system.
Because I also understand that your day in our life as a vet involves lots of client-facing work. So you really get to meet people, strangers.
Yeah.
And because of that communication problem can be sometimes a barrier, especially if you can't get to a particular patient to explain certain problems, right?
Yes. Because most people, become vets because we like animals, but you don't realize how much you actually talk to people. You spend most of your day talking to people.